How's it ground, folks? This is another quick service call. This is a Duquesne 80% gas furnace. This customer said that after 1 hour runtime, this furnace just randomly turns off. And the only way she can reset or turn the heat back on is by hard resetting the system at their emergency switch. She said that someone else already came out here and they couldn't figure out what was going on. And guys, when I came out here, of course everything was running. But guys, remember with these Duquesne and Lennox furnaces, these circuit boards store the last recent 3 fault codes. So guys, by the way, if you just press that button that I'm pointing to here, try not to hold on to it because you could accidentally delete the fault codes. But if you want to know what's going on, let's say in this case the furnace runs every time I show up, but as soon as I leave, something crazy happens and then it turns right back on when I leave. With these Duquesne furnaces, this gives you the ability to see what was going on. So in this case, guys, I pressed that button and it gave me an error code 3. Error code 3 right here. That means that our pressure switch was open with the inducer running. That pretty much means that this pressure switch wasn't engaged. First thing I did, guys, now remember, this unit was running when I got here. First thing I want to do is just eliminate any physical, I want to eliminate any obvious signs of mechanical failures. So I looked at my wires, I didn't see any, disconnected wires, or I didn't see any foul play. Nothing was miswired or anything crazy. I knew my inducer motor was running. I checked my inducer motor for amps. The amps were normal on the inducer. Next, I got my manometer. And guys, by the way, this switch is rated for a 0.56. I got my manometer and my inducer was pulling a 1.0 inches of water column. So guys, this inducer is definitely strong enough to close this pressure switch. And guys, also, I looked at my inducer port. For some reason, over time, these 80% furnaces, you could have rust and scale build up inside those inducer ports, and that could actually affect the pressure switch from opening and closing when it needs to. Now guys, I looked at the port was good. Guys, in this case, if my inducer, if I verify proper operation with the inducer and I don't see any signs of obstruction inside the tubing or the vent pipe, in this case, guys, it would just lead to me replacing this pressure switch. Now I do have another one. I'm getting ready to pop a new switch in and I'll test it, and it should be an easy service call. I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, burner's fired up. Blower motor is running. We got our new switch in, and guys, we went with a universal pressure switch, and that was pretty plug and play. My take on these universal switches, unless you have an odd style pressure switch, and you'll know it when you see it, you can't use universal. You'll probably have to go with a OEM pressure switch, but in this case we went with universal. We tested it a few times and everything stayed on. And guys, the moral of the story is, with intermittent issues, it's best to have this intermittent issue with a Duquesne furnace. Remember guys, with Duquesne and Lennox, and most Lennox furnaces, they have the circuit boards that store fault codes. So the only thing I had to do was push a button. It gave me the last 2 fault codes, which correlated to my pressure switch sticking. And guys, instead of rolling the dice with the same switch, I just popped a new switch in, make sure my tubing was okay, and most importantly, guys, before I replaced any pressure switches, I made sure that my inducer motor was pulling proper inches of water column. That's very important because guys, without that tool, without the manometer for you to test your inducer motor, you're going to go through 100 of these and it still won't work. And sometimes guys, you can even have inducer motors run and not pull anything. But the only way you can test that inducer motor is with a manometer, and that will let you know exactly what to do next, whether it be replace the inducer or the pressure switch. But yeah, there you guys have it. And we also signed this customer up for maintenance. Got our new filter in, and we'll be back out hopefully in a few weeks once the weather breaks to check the AC. But there you guys have it. Intermittent issues ended up to us replacing this pressure switch, and she's ready to roll. Peace out. I'll see you guys on the next one.